What the fuck is up, man? It's Pod Sun Radio, dog. We back for another very special episode. And I always say that, but we about to get into some straight gangster shit on this episode. You know what I mean? This is not for the weak-hearted. This is not going to be for the niggas that ain't never been through nothing or anybody who don't just understand the overall struggle or can't encompass what that means. You know what I mean? But once again, Happy New Year to everybody. You know what I mean? I hope y'all been having a wonderful 2020 and things like that. You know, I took me a cool month off, and it's because I've been, getting some shit reset. So I'm going to talk to y'all a little bit about that. But before I do that, I got to shout out my co-host in here, and she's in here for a very special reason, which we about to tell y'all when we announce our guest. But we got a lot of love in the building. How you doing today? Grab your mic, girl. What's you doing?
Sorry, I don't know how to do all this. I'm learning.
You don't know how to rock the mic?
No, I don't. It's my first time. Hi, guys. I'm Lotta Love. Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. And I brought her here because my guest right here, it's my man, 50 grand and all that. I think this is third episode. He might have co-hosted on one or two, something like that. You know what I mean? But he back in the building. He back on the scene. He back to fuck shit up. We got the Legend Cory P on the building. Let's go ahead and give him a...
Hey, yo, what's going on? What's happening with y'all, man? What's happening, Pod Son?
Nigga, I'm chilling. I'm still just chilling, bro. We got to talk here last time. Bro, that episode we did last time was fucking hilarious.
It was.
When I say entertainment, anybody can watch that shit and be entertained.
Yeah, and relate and be dead weak.
Yeah, so I'm glad to have you back. But so my man, he just got off home from a vacation and shit that. But I brought him through because we got to talk to him because he's one of the best rappers in Arizona. And he dropped one of the best projects that he was under promoted and he didn't get to do his thing with it. So we're going to talk to him about that, to him about what he's been up to. But a lot of love while he was on his vacation. She was one of the ones helping him get through. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
I lied to you. I kid you not. I will not lie to you. She definitely reached out and was like, yo, we got to reach out. We got to talk. We got to write. We got to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When even your own niggas, family, or whoever wasn't doing that same thing, as simple as writing. And I wrote some letters, but I didn't send none. You know what I'm saying? But she was taking it and doing the full motherfucking process. And that's real. So
I did.
We glad to have you. Matter of fact, let's go and give her one.
Give her a round of applause. You know what I mean? She deserved that shit. She deserved that shit. That's 100.
Keeping that shit forever.
But so we got the Legend Cory P in the building, man. So happy to have you. We're going to have you. And then we got my man Jay Allen in the house. Go and grab your mic. Say what's up to the people.
What's going on, Pod?
Yeah, my nigga, he too smooth. He too cool.
It feels good to be back, though.
It feel good to have you here. That's like my Leo brother and shit. Through all the ups and downs. This nigga birthday is August 20th. Mine is August 21st. And it's crazy because I tell him the only difference between me and him is he's nice and he kind of doesn't do the ignorant shit that I do. You know what I mean? Like I do like the trifling shit. I'm trying to cut it out of my life.
He's a nigga in the sewer.
Man, real shit, man. But
Y'all niggas is wild.
Hey, we doing better nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for coming through, man. But so I want to talk to y'all a little bit just about myself before we go into the whole CPAS story. And rest in peace, Kobe. We're gonna talk about Kobe a little bit because
the legend.
And it took me a while to talk about it too. Like I cried like a baby when Kobe died. It was like losing pops over again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I kid you not, like I don't care. I didn't like, nigga. It was like I couldn't breathe. When you sobbing and you, you know what I mean? Like, nigga, I was crying, like, nigga. And honestly, that was a lot of the thing that made me realize, I need to fix some shit out here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just a lot that's been going on. You know what I mean? So we're gonna talk about that. But on a brighter note, though, I've been doing my thing. You know what I mean? And obviously, last year was a fucking huge year. Like,
and congrats to you on that. You know what I mean? When I got out the pen, that's one of the first things that I looked up was, what you were doing because I knew it was going to be something crazy.
Yeah. No.
And you know what I mean? And I know you'll explain all of that right now, but like, congrats.
I appreciate that, bro. Shit, let me get a...
That's yourself.
I might have played the wrong sound effect, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, but it was a big year. Like, I had a lot of big moments. Obviously, the Master P shit made it to that's all.
That's what I was gonna say, but I wanted you to say it first. I wanted you to say it
was like that was like outside of setting the bar high. Like I set the bar real high on a podcast level. And even if
Yeah.
I was radio, nigga, I would have set the bar high with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But being a fan and like, as you know, how we grew up, like,
Yeah.
woo-doo, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, make them say all the Mr. Ice Cream Man,
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, all the shit he did, like, so that was
Pass me
big.
the
But
weed, I need the green with my Hennessy.
nigga,
Come on, bro.
come
Like
on.
that's
and that's how
that's
real
like the
nigga
original
anthem,
trill
dog.
nigga right there.
Yeah, real
you know
shit.
What I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
Original.
It's funny. I heard somebody in Atlanta. They was like, "Man, he want to sound like Tupac," and I was like, "I could hear that a little bit."
Yeah, he did.
But anyway, yeah, no, yeah, but yeah, nah. You know, I fuck with P Tough, especially for doing that for me.
Yeah.
But going forward though, I just felt like, obviously Arizona is my. Nah, you good? Y'all good back there? Arizona is my hometown and shit like that, and I love everything and everybody here.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna always do my thing here, and especially like with my niggas and people who I'm a fan of and shit like that, or that's just doing numbers. Then always we could sit down in the studio, we do whatever we gotta do. But other than that, nigga, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, the next shit y'all gonna really see from me that's like a real buckle down. Like y'all see with some sporadic interviews, and I'll keep those as intimate as possible. But other than that, y'all gonna see some Atlanta shit, and that's for my core fans. You know what I mean? Like we taking it straight to the A. I done been there. I done got the studio. I got everything popping.
Got everything, yeah.
So yeah, we
that's
lit,
what's
you know, and that's why I said I'm hoping my you know what I mean. I can take two of my niggas with me, and we can just sit down for a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm actually pulling up to Atlanta in about a couple weeks, like 2 weeks.
Yeah, nigga, please. So we lit, man.
You know
Shit, let me know. I go. I'm telling you, I'll go just to meet. Show
I'm
you
going
some people,
to.
you know,
Someone
man.
can pack me up in their
All right,
suitcase.
2
Well,
weeks.
let's go.
Roll.
Yeah.
Let's
roll.
slide on
I don't
out
have
here.
anything
2
to
weeks.
do.
Let's
Let's
Yeah.
get it.
So,
I
yeah.
love Atlanta.
So yeah, I'm getting ready for that
Let's
Atlanta
get it.
move.
Me and
you
you,
know what I
Cassie,
mean?
let's go.
I ain't never been.
Yeah, I ain't about
I
shit.
ain't never
Yeah,
been to
yeah,
Atlanta
yeah.
yet. I'm
Oh, you
I
got
love it. I'm
As a
gonna
black
go to the
man-
strip club. Let's get
As
it.
a black man, going to Atlanta
That might
is
be
an
the next.
absolute must. Like an absolute must, bro. I promise you. And I tell you,
Serious out here.
like,
Wow.
it's not my favorite place I've been, but it's damn near, I say second or something like.
I like Miami for sure.
Nah, Atlanta. I like Atlanta even, and half my family live in Miami, so I've been in Miami.
Everybody want to go to Atlanta though, so I'm trying
Yeah.
to see what you know what's going on.
Yeah, no, Atlanta is the
Nice.
spitz out for sure. But so yeah, so that's where the move's gonna go. So y'all look out for that. I'm not gonna be launching that until about June, around the same time where I'm gonna be doing my basketball game here in Arizona. So any of the big ballers that's out here, y'all can come out to the launch party that we're gonna be having in Atlanta. It's gonna be some real 100% fly nigga shit, and I'm giving you enough time to get it together and let's go. You know what I'm
got
saying?
a couple months to get the thing together.
Yeah.
Good luck. You
But
know what I mean?
outside of the podcast shit, though, I feel like I also was like a mental reset. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like for the last 3 years, all I've been doing is grinding. You know what I mean? And it's like sometimes I get my bread, but sometimes I'm broke. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. So I'm like, bro, dealing with everything I deal with in this shit, it was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just sit down for a second. You know what I mean? Like, it's like not just to reset the shit for what I want to do going forward with this, but just to get your brain right, you know. So lately, for the last month, nigga, I've been at happy hour. I've been traveling just for recreation. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't been doing none of that other shit. Like, I just been like, fuck it. You know what I mean?
Self-care is very important.
Fact. You know,
because sometimes
I mean?
you have to sit down and like recalibrate. You know what I mean? Some people don't realize how important that is to do nothing. You know what I mean? Everybody's always on the go, like, you know, worried about their goals and chasing them and things like that. But sometimes it's always good to just turn your phone off, not do nothing.
Shine
not
moment.
Nothing, you know what I mean? Like, it's
Do not disturb
absolutely
is my
necessary.
favorite.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because it comes back full tilt. So
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, so y'all look out for that, man. I ain't want y'all to think I forgot about y'all or no shit like that. You know, I know it's hard when the hottest podcast nigga disappear for a second, but
like, what we gonna watch now, man?
I'm right here, baby. All right, but all right. So now on a more serious note, I do want to talk about Kobe, and I'll wait to go last on this one. But we'll start with Lotta since she probably is the least affected by the tragedy that we suffered. But we're gonna go.
You are so correct. I never grew up really watching football.
So what'd you
basketball.
think? What'd you think when you?
I just fucked that up.
Yeah, you did.
For sure.
Bad. All right. So, but what'd you at least think when you just heard about it? 'Cause I'm sure you heard about it on social media.
I saw it, and then when you find out about all the other victims and people who were like affected by it, kind of hit you because it wasn't just one person. It was really important to a lot of people. But then you realize like his daughter was there, and then other families, and then how important those people were. And now it's kind of like just puts it to perspective how important people are in your lives, to like really give them a hug and tell them that you care about them, and just really like put that into
shine moment. I like that. That was actually well articulated. All right, Jay Allen, what was you thinking? Where was you at when you heard the news, man?
And I was.
Did you think about me on top of that?
No, but all jokes aside, I was asleep and I woke up. My sister had called me and she asked me if I heard about Kobe, and I was like, "What you talking about?" I couldn't even tell you what I thought in that moment when she asked me. I was just like, "What you talking about?" She was like, "He died." And my heart just dropped, and I didn't even believe her. I'm like, "You must got your information." It's my sister, so I'm like, "You out here tripping?"
Yeah.
I was like, right away, I was like, "I'm gonna call you back." So I called her back. You know what we do? We got right on Facebook and Google and all that. So once I seen everybody posting on there, I seen that it was like his family. I don't know where the reports was coming from, but I seen that it was like his family or something. I don't know. I must have seen something, and then later I found out it was just him and his daughter, bro. And I definitely thought I definitely thought of you and a few other people, people that because I never liked Kobe as much as as you
But
or
even that,
but that was
it's
aside from
respect,
it's
you know what I
respect.
mean? Like,
Exactly. I grew up liking Kobe like later on, like not in the early days. So but I definitely had a big respect for him. And when I found out that it was his daughter on there, like, man, that was just it's heartbreaking, man. Can't even explain it. But man,
nah, it's a fucked up day, man. Pat, Cory, the legend Cory P, man. How did you find out the news, and what did you think when you heard it? And what do you think now?
I mean, to keep it 100, I actually heard when I was in the pen. It was actually 7 days before I got out, and in there, like, your information is kind of limited on how you receive information from the outside world. So there was this dude laying on his back. I was just sitting there chilling, like reading or doing something, and I overheard him tell somebody else, like, "Hey, yo, they said Kobe died." And I'm like, "What?" I put my book down and I'm like, "Bro, like, nah, bro, you lying. Like, why would you? Don't play like that. Like, that's Kobe Bryant. Like, what? Like, he had it was the night after LeBron had just passed his record, and he had just tweeted LeBron some shit. Because I remember I was watching that game and all of that, and I'm just like, nah, bro, like, you're lying. So I turned on the TV, and ESPN didn't have it yet. Nobody else had it yet, but it was funny because Telemundo had it. I mean, not funny, but Telemundo had it
I know
first.
what you mean, though. I know what you. I know just what you mean.
Like, so,
maybe. ¿Qué quieres nosotros? Kobe Bryant.
on everything I love. It was like, bro, they had like the picture of the helicopter and things were in Spanish, and I didn't understand. I'm sitting there like really listening to it as if I knew what they were talking about, and it's just like Kobe Bryant though, like died, like helicopter, and I'm like, yo, like, nah, this is fake because ESPN ain't said it yet. And then once it hit ESPN, that's when it really hit me. And I know at first they were saying like he was on the helicopter with other people, and at first, like, the message around the yard was all of his daughters were on a helicopter. And when I heard that, I was like, yo, it hit me even deeper because while I was in there, I couldn't even call my daughter the whole time to make sure, like, to see if she was all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to take it there.
Nah, but yeah.
You know what I mean? But that was the first thing I thought about is like my people, like, I didn't even know what my family was up to, what y'all was up to, anybody.
Yeah.
And the first people that I thought about, was you. I thought about Jay, Dre, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, man, I can't even really talk to no one about it besides, my homies in there. So yeah, it hit me kind of deep because, and I hate to, drag this out, but like people that know me knew that, and that I was a KG fan back in the day when he had came into the league and played for the Timberwolves. And Kobe Bryant was one of the opponents that stopped him from going to the championship. Yeah, like, man, and it was just like one of those, like, man, I really hate this human being right here. Like, I really grew to like hate Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From a sports standpoint. And then that's why I was so happy when KG went to the Celtics and then they won. And then, you know, it was, you know, Kobe turned around a couple years later and then beat them back. But it was just like one of those, like, I hate this person because he's so great. You know what I mean? But then when he passed, you realize that it wasn't hate. It was just like
admiration.
it's admiration. And like, and when
That's
I
what I
hoop
realized about
myself,
Bron.
and when I hoop myself, it was like, yo, like you would find yourself like, oh, this must be what the Mamba mentality is. Like when you going in, and I know you can, you know, relate to like, bro, I'm hitting shot after shot, you know, things like that. So I learned to respect Kobe even more. And, you know, it was just so tragic to me that I wanted to reach out to you as soon as I, you know, could. So
Nah,
yeah.
man. And I ain't gonna take too long because like I said, that's a super like emotional topic for me.
Look, you're gonna shed a tear.
Nah,
So.
I said enough, truthfully. But I mean I probably could. But I feel like I said, Kobe was like a father figure, you know what I mean, without even ever meeting the nigga. And I'm almost like, I used to say like, damn, once I meet Kobe, then I'll know that, because I started meeting like idols and shit. So I was like, once I meet Kobe, I'll know. You know what I mean? But outside of that, just when I was a kid, I remember the first time I ever seen him was 1998, bro. And you can still look up the play to this day. And it's the day I became a fan. My biological father was a fan. And it was like the same time when my biological father like left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it kind of coincided. But he had a play where he dunked on Hakeem Olajuwon. I promise you. But it was like he pulled himself up on the rim with his offhand
and then
and yammed on him. So they called the like climbing offensive foul or whatever.
Yeah.
And I seen it as a kid, and I was mesmerized at that time. And I wasn't even a basketball fan. And then he became Shaq's sidekick, which obviously Shaq was our team, but it became where he was damn near as good as Shaq. You know what I mean? And they was winning titles and shit like that. But you could just see, even as a kid, how relentless that he was. You know what I mean? Like if you look back in 2000 in Game 4, when Shaq fouled down, Kobe was like 21 years old, a puppy. Everybody thought that it was a wrap. You know what I mean? And he carried their ass to victory. Back when people said that Shaq was carrying him to championships. You know what I mean?
You know, people they got short term.
Yeah, I remember watching him grab 48 points and 16 rebounds in 2001 against the Kings. You know what I mean? In a playoff game.
Yeah.
Yamming on Vlade Divac. You know what I mean? Like saving us. And then on top of that, nowadays you see the modern day NBA superstar who, once shit gets bad, it's out. Kobe from 04, 05 up until 07, 08 was playing with fucking Smush Parker, Brian Cook, Devin George for you know
at
one
point like, they were like last in the division. They stuck through it,
and he was throwing up like he was playing his little heart out. You know what I'm saying? Like really, like going for motherfucking broke, knowing they couldn't beat the Suns or nobody who was really getting down at that time. You know what I mean? But he was still just as relentless. You know what I mean? And just regardless of his career, just watching him have that relentless attitude, it always sparked something in me. I wrote book reports on him back in like 2002, 2003. You know what I mean? When I was old enough to put together a paragraph. My best Christmas was when my girl, who ended up being my baby mama, bought me a Kobe Bryant jersey in 2008. You know what I mean? Literally, best Christmas. And I don't know. He touched me in many ways, and I know he touched a lot of people. So I just wanted to touch on it.
Real quick, I did think of one moment when he passed, when I heard about the news. Remember, for some reason, I don't know, I was tripping back in the day. Remember when I said I thought I could dunk on Kobe Bryant?
If you I do remember that. Yo,
I like, you give me 10 tries. Yeah, I'm dunking on Kobe Bryant.
Hey, yo. Niggas was like, yo, you full of shit.
Bro,
yo.
My homies was like, bro, you can barely even dunk for one. But you want to know what I realized? I believe that was the Mamba mentality kind of, rubbed off. I mean, it was,
fact.
You know what I mean? Like, it was off. You know what I mean? I was clearly tripping, but, I was so determined that I thought I could,
Nah, that's a fact, man. So and that's it. We're gonna wrap on that segment, and we about to talk to the legend Cory P. I call him CPAC because it's my nigga who I grew up with. I thought this nigga was cool, and he really was ugly. But I thought he was stupid cool when we was young. Like I thought he was the coolest nigga ever. I ain't gonna front. I'm gonna tell you the truth on camera right now. And looking back, I'm like, he was just a little funny looking nigga with glasses. But he seemed so swaggy at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Because one thing, I've always learned is that, man, you got to be clean out here. Man.
Yeah, now you've
that's
always
just
been
one
clean,
thing,
bro.
you
I
know,
always
man?
looked up to that, man.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm talking shit, but I really did, bro.
Oh yeah,
But,
but no, I definitely had the glasses with the braids. It was bad.
All right, but let's wrap this Kobe, man. We gonna take a drink. And
I don't have
y'all gonna take a
anything.
drink. I gotta drink water.
Yeah, no,
man.
that's
I gotta
fine.
drink
Water
Yeah,
is
water
still a
is
drink.
good. That's still a drink.
You know what I mean?
And we gonna
It's a healthier.
Is it really
option.
bad luck for you to toast with water? Did
No.
somebody out there
Who
know?
said that?
No.
Who said that?
I don't know. I just said that. Yeah.
Hey,
Oh
but-
yeah.
but-
I'm-
You do you.
before we take the drink, y'all, let's get it. Let's get 8-second moment of silence. All right, y'all ready? Let's go. All right, that's good. All right, let's get this drink, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Toast.
Rest in peace to Kobe, man. Rest in peace to Gigi, everybody else,
Yeah.
and love y'all.
I have nothing. I need a little bit. I need something in my cup.
Oh, you don't even have nothing. You
No,
over there
I
toasting? She
love
ain't even got
that.
nothing left. She toasted. She ain't even got
Oh my
nothing
God.
Imaginary.
left. Imagine.
You know what? I'm here for.
Like-
I'm just here for the vibe.
It does
you
taste
know?
better, Hitsy. Don't try to shit on me, Kim.
I'm
Come
gonna
fight.
sing
I
along.
fight Asian girls.
Oh.
I'm
I think
just playing.
Wait, I have squirt. I'll take the Coke. It's fine. It's too
All
much
right.
work. Too much work. Too much work.
Okay, but we here to talk to my mans. Like I said, 50 grand, and I'll give y'all a little more backstory to make it in depth, because everybody who watches this podcast or fucks with me in Phoenix, they don't really know where I come from. Even like a lot of them know I'm from Maryville, but a lot of them don't know about me being from Surprise and El Mirage area and my people from out there. And truthfully, my niggas from out there is with the business. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we used to wreak havoc.
School?
People don't.
Where did you?
I went to Dysart, you know what I'm saying?
No, in Maryville. What school did you?
I never Palm Lane. That was when I was a kid.
I went to
you know what I'm
Spitalney in Maryville.
Oh shit! Okay,
Yeah, 43rd and Thomas.
You know what
That's where I
time
grew
it
up.
is. Then. But anyway, so my El Mirage and Surprise days was a little bit different. Like it was like a bunch of hood niggas dropped in the suburbs, just fucking shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's exactly what I said.
no, when I say
was.
these are
That's
some of the
what it
illest
said.
niggas, even me traveling the country, these are still some of the illest niggas you could meet. And I promise you, like, I have more respect for my niggas now than I did before, because I'm like, yo, niggas ain't cut like these niggas. Like, I'm telling you, like, niggas is soft. Like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, my niggas really ain't with that bullshit.
not
you
at
know?
all.
Like, by no stretch, bro. Like, you can start feeling a little disrespected and nigga gonna start tripping. You know what I'm saying? I see niggas like out here, it's straight cornballs, bro. Like, and it's sad. But anyway, so me and Cory, CPAC, Legend Cory P, we grew up real tight and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
Been through a lot. You know, we Eskimo brothers. We fucked a lot of bitches together.
Oh yeah.
Hey, look, hold on. This podcast shit.
Yeah, this is podcast shit.
This podcast shit. So I'm gonna tell y'all something fucking hilarious.
Eskimo brothers.
I'm gonna tell y'all
I'm
something.
fucking
If CPAC know this hilarious.
I think I know what it is.
We messed with a girl one time at the same time.
No names or what?
But look, nah, we ain't gonna drop no names.
We can't name drop.
No,
We're not
but
gonna do
listen.
this to this young girl. I know what he's talking about. I know what
This
he's going.
girl smelled like Dookie.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
It
god!
was
Yeah,
bad.
don't
It
drop
was
names.
bad.
I thought
It
I was
was
gonna say
bad.
something good.
I've dealt with a couple tangy vaginas,
Yeah.
but never no real smelly vaginas,
Yeah.
honestly, ever.
Because that one we didn't penetrate. I hope people out there don't think that we did
No.
anything.
No, this girl
Yeah,
smelled like she took a
like
fresh
she
shit.
just took her panties off, and you can smell the whole room gone. Just I swear to God, and it didn't smell like funky pussy.
No, it
It
smelled like
funky ass.
Dookie.
Yeah, like
y'all
Dookie,
ain't never told me this story, neither one of y'all.
Look, no, if you watch this podcast, I hope you washing your ass.
Yeah,
I'm
wash
saying
your
this.
ass, because that was terrible.
2020
This shit-
washed your ass.
Still to this day, I haven't smelled.
I've
anything
never
like that.
smelled nothing like
like
that.
that
Like
ever.
it smelled like she was taking a shit right then,
Right
almost.
there,
Like,
yeah.
Yo.
No.
It was bad.
but she
bro.
wasn't
It was
because her
bad.
ass was out.
Yeah,
What's
like
going
yeah.
on?
But if you should never bring your ass out if you know it even has if it could possibly smell
Yeah,
bad.
and that's the thing is like you knew she could smell it too, obviously, because
Nigga,
the whole
The whole
room
room smelled like doo-doo.
she blew the room up. You know what I Like
Yo.
I'm
Wait,
dead.
so
terrible.
these was different experiences?
No,
this is same.
we were messing with her
Oh,
together. I'm gonna give
dead.
y'all some
Simultaneous.
disclosure.
Did you guys give each other?
We were still in high school.
Yeah.
We were still in high school, so this when we was
Okay,
this when we was
makes
training
sense.
girls back then.
Oh,
Okay,
Training
okay, y'all was on your
girls.
two
Yeah.
legs.
Yeah, we was training. We was
Okay.
making sure we was giving them on the job training.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
Damn, they got like overtime or
yeah,
what?
fact, absolutely.
Okay,
Did
this
you get
make
a
a little more
bonus?
sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Damn.
The girl smelled like
Y'all was
dookie.
going through it
and it was
that was
terrible.
real.
It was
And
bad.
did you guys
And, like,
both
bro-
regret it at that moment? Looked straight in the eye.
Nigga,
Bro,
we
we
was
I regret
immediately.
this
I don't
moment.
think neither one of us come.
We didn't fuck her. We didn't. That's the thing. We was just getting top.
What did
We
you
was getting on
guys-
top. We was getting
Not-
on
Yeah,
top.
we
Hey,
no, we didn't come. That's what we didn't do.
Yeah.
We got the fuck out of there.
I don't
No,
know.
we didn't tell
We
her.
didn't tell her. Now I would tell her. Nowadays,
Yeah.
actually nowadays,
That's
it's
like
just like
violation. Y'all gotta
I don't
say
think I would mess with anybody.
That level of dookie,
Yeah.
absolutely. Any level of dookie.
No, and that's
Any
the thing
hint
is
of
like
dookie.
I think the girls I mess with nowadays definitely hold themselves to a way higher standards.
Yeah,
and
fact,
I won't even
nah.
come close to that.
My girls, they clean their vagina before they leave the house.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? They have a happy shower,
They
play
get
music, and
the
clean
reconstructive surgery to make
Yeah.
it tighter and shit.
Hell yeah. I
Snap
thought
that
about
pussy
doing
back.
that. That's
They snap that thing right back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right.
And then you can actually get it sewn
Huh?
up.
What
I looked
happened?
up the surgery.
Oh yeah. Oh
Look,
yeah.
I smell
Yeah.
like Dove soap. All
Yeah.
right, but
don't get me started with
hold on.
Okay.
All
Well,
right, that's enough of that sex talk.
Yeah, look, we got him in the
I
background.
just wanted to
while
throw that talk out real quick. But all right, Cory P.
Yeah, what's happening?
So I'll talk to you about a few things here and there.
Uh-huh.
One of the first things that I want to start on definitely is how did it feel when your album Eagle Man when it dropped? Cause it dropped right when you had the release party?
It dropped, I think, a couple days before the release party because the
Okay.
release
For
party was
sure.
on a Sunday. I dropped it, I think, on a Saturday because I wanted to drop it like on the days that I actually recorded every song, which was on Saturdays. Just because, like, I wanted people to have that same feel that I had recording them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Saturdays just feel good. Everybody wake up in a good mood. It's Saturday. You cook
It's
you some
Saturday.
breakfast, have you, a little sip or something, and everything is all good. Cut on the oldies. That's exactly how I recorded it.
So how did you feel when it came out? And did you get some head that day? Because if not, you bullshit.
Hey, if I can remember correctly, yeah.
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 I remember that Sunday too, release party.
Oh yeah, the release
The
party.
the aftermath. I didn't go to the actual release, but I
Oh,
remember
the aftermath.
after.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
bad. It actually ended really
Yeah.
bad. But
It didn't.
well, no. I know.
He's talking
That's-
about, yeah.
I'm talking about way after. That was a
Way,
whole
yeah.
nother
No,
situation.
After the aftermath.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, after the
All right,
aftermath. but
so keep
I
going.
felt amazing when it dropped. You know what I mean? Because like I produced the whole thing. Did all of that stuff for the album. Like really, it was a vision that I had in my head, and through the help of my engineer at the time, Toxic, we put it together, and I was able to really physically put a project out that resonated well with the people. So it was amazing. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever felt any type of euphoria like that. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just, it was a good feeling.
Shut up, Naveen. Said, shut up. And I'm gonna send you this clip. Shut up. You talking in the background. All right, but yeah, because of Dan, you brought him. All right, but Cory P. So I know I talked to you about the album right now, but I really actually want to take it back. And I know you've been on the show twice,
Yeah.
so I don't need you to dive super deep. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But kind of talk to the people about where you from and your come up just a little bit, just for people that's just
Okay.
their first time hearing you.
I actually, was born here, but then I was raised in Jersey, and then came back here. You know what I mean? So like while I was out there, I kind of, developed my sound and my love for rap. So that's why if you hear me pronounce some words, it sounds like I'm still from out there. But I spent most of my life growing up in the El Mirage Surprise area with y'all. You know what I mean? And the come up was just, I've been through groups and things like that. But when I finally decided to, do my solo thing is, when I got Eagle Man.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of how it went bundled up. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know we like to give surprise love now, but when we was young, we didn't even like you niggas. It was El Mirage.
Yeah,
You know what
no,
I'm
not at
saying?
all.
Surprise.
We
People would be like,
surprise
where?
was busters.
Yeah,
Every
straight
time I
busters.
say, I'm
Like-
so surprised, they're like, wait, what's the surprise?
Niggas
I'm
from
like,
surprise
what?
was
For real.
like,
For
you-
real, like the two other schools, Willow and what's like the other one, they used to look at Dizo like it's just down there and you don't go down there.
Nah,
You know what I
because
mean?
we was the
'Cause,
bottom boys.
we was like
we was the 100% bottom
Hey,
boys.
It's
you know
going,
what I'm
it's
saying?
going down over here. Like,
All
you know
right,
what I
so
mean?
I love
I just
partying
want
with
to
people
throw
from
that
that
out there,
side.
little disclosure. All right, but after dropping Eagle Man, bro, and you had to go do your thing like
Mhm.
that, what was it like not being able to promote the album and handle business like you wanted to? And did you immediately feel that when you sat down for your vacation?
Yeah. I mean, to answer your question, first and foremost, yeah, I felt it right away. The day that, I was remanded in court and went to go do the bid to start off, like it was just that was one of the things that I was thinking about the most was like, bro, what's the album doing? Do people actually like it? Because it was just like, when it's a week, it's like you don't even really get to see the numbers. I didn't get to see like none of the numbers until I just recently got out. I didn't see anything about it. I didn't get to see who was talking about it, if people actually really did fuck with it, or if they was like, yo, this shit is the wackest shit we've ever heard. We're glad he's away. I didn't know anything.
Wait,
You know
even
what I
if
mean?
it's whack, they shouldn't be glad you away.
We're glad he's away.
Hey, there's some people out there like that, man. Like, or
His
you know,
music's so trash, don't
Yeah,
let
well,
him
yeah.
out.
His music
I
is
never
so
want to see him
whack.
again. Kill him if you can. Like, kill him. Get
we
rid
don't
of
even
him.
care nothing about that man.
He said, I'm glad he's away. Like, nigga, I don't think nobody dislike anybody's music that much. Like,
Hey, there might you never know, man. People are people.
yeah, I'm dead, bro.
But, yeah, no,
But
that's
keep
fucking
going,
hilarious.
man.
Lock him up.
Yeah, lock him up and never release his mixtape ever again. But no, on some real shit, like I think I told you last time too on the last podcast that I knew I was going away from the moment I started recording the album. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
fact.
at first I thought I was
Man, you a real nigga with turning yourself in.
yeah.
You a realer nigga than me.
Oh
for a
yeah,
fact.
no, I caught a couple niggas that was in there
Cheers.
for doing a dash. You know what I mean? Yeah, they did the race. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's the worst thing a nigga can do, though. He
Yeah,
don't even
yeah,
realize
yeah.
that, bro.
Niggas ended up getting like way more time. Like,
Yeah,
it's
no,
crazy.
you
It's
do the
like, nigga,
race.
you ran from 4 months, nigga, ended up getting like 2.5, shit like that, just for running. You know what I mean? They caught your ass in
Don't
Cali.
ever run.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Don't.
if you go through something, if you do the crime,
Especially
do
if
the
it ain't a
time.
serious ass charge. Like, and
Yeah.
DUI is serious, but it's not murder.
Yeah,
or,
no.
It's
you
just
know what I mean?
Arizona's zero
Robbery.
tolerance. That's why they take it so
Oh, yeah.
like extremely.
But not
like
to-
anywhere else, it's like not as.
You shouldn't be running if it's just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
some people
but
just
people
don't
just
wanna-
don't have that like.
Like, and when I
Common
was on the yard and I
sense.
talked to people on the yard, a lot of them, everybody, even my first, reaction was like, yo, if I go to Vegas, I'll be straight, but that's a coward thing to do. I'll be
Yeah.
running
That's
for
like
the
a
rest
few.
of my life.
Yeah, for
Right.
You know what I
sure.
mean?
They'll
But,
always find you eventually.
But yeah, no, I mean,
Vegas ain't bad.
yeah, Vegas ain't bad, yeah.
No.
I was like, bro, we gonna hit the
Yeah.
strip. I'm
We'll
gonna
go
live
to
like
the
24
strip
karat
clubs,
magic at that
let's
moment.
get it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was a difficult, stressful process, like recording the album, knowing that, in the back of your mind that I actually extended me going in like 60 days, like, you know what I mean? Because I needed to finish the album and I needed for people to at least hear it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Let me see something. Let me get a glimpse of, how people
Yeah.
how it's resonating with people. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Nah, that's big, bro. And
Yeah.
another thing that I'm curious about, because I just think it's crazy, because a nigga like me, the most I've ever done is 7 days. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
But even that little vacation felt like
mhm.
a year. I'm not kidding you. Like, it felt
Yeah.
like a year, bro.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
my thing is, how do you avoid confrontation in that motherfucker?
How do you avoid confrontation? I mean, it's easy. You kind of the same way. I mean, they're really big on respect in the pen, and it's just about like, don't touch nobody's stuff. Don't, you know what I mean? Going around with your chest out, looking
Yeah.
for trouble. If you kind of just mind your own and, read your books, do whatever you do, people kind of just stay out of the way. But I mean, there is certain instances where like you have people that just are just straight up hating on you. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
seen somebody in there have to run the fade just because he was bragging about him going home the next day. He was just like, yo, I go home tomorrow, and somebody heard him and was like, yo, went to the head and was like, yo, he got to run a fade. He said he's going home, and I don't like it. And that's
Wait,
literally what he said.
a nigga had to fight because of his release date.
Yeah, because he just went
That's
around, and he
crazy.
wasn't even like bragging and boasting. He was just like, yo, I'm going home tomorrow. Somebody heard that and was like, bro, went to his head, like the dude's head, and was like, yo, he said he's going home. I don't like it. We got to fade.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
That's
and the head went to him, was like, bro, you got to fade him. He called you out. No, because you like, yeah, he still went home. Actually, he didn't even fight. He rolled
I
up.
was
off
like
the,
wondering. I'm like,
Lotta, you got any questions?
no, I honestly didn't know what fade was, but I kind of got it by the context, and then I was like, all right,
You have any
Fading
questions for
is
Cory?
fighting. For
I was like, I got it.
for all the
I'm
Pod
like, all right.
Sun radio listeners that don't
I'm
know the
so-
lingo,
sometimes so slow.
A fade,
like, so-
a fade is we have to fight. We have
It's
to
what
I
I
was
got
like,
on my
so no one
head.
got a haircut
And when a
before they
nigga
left.
get his ass
Like, oh, I
knocked
got
out.
it. I got it.
Good. Do you have any questions for Cory?
How are you today?
Oh, I'm wonderful.
Okay.
I'm wonderful. Every day
What-
is a beautiful day. I mean,
What have you been doing since you like got
to be
off
honest, adjusting to freedom. And I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're
cut
good. No,
cut the
you
question
figured,
short,
yeah.
but it's really a big like adjustment going from, being disconnected from the world completely to when you get out, everybody's kind of back on you like, yo, let's make this happen. Let's do this happen. But really, I just kind of wanted to, like chill with my family because I didn't get to see them the entire time I was locked down. Kick it with my daughter, kick it with my brothers, you know what I'm saying? And really just I've been recording, but I know we'll get into that,
Yeah, of course.
but
that was my next question. Like, what are you doing now that's different from before till now? Like, what do you think you're gonna change up and keep consistent in that?
well, now I'm just promoting health. I think everybody should be healthy. For one, I mean, I know everybody kind of wants to go to the top, but they don't realize that your body has to make it there with you.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Your mind has to make it there with you. Your emotions got to make it there with you. So if all of that is not aligned, then you're setting yourself up for failure. You know what I mean? And I learned that from
Going
getting
on
healthy.
the vacation.
So now, pretty much, like when I recorded Eagle Man, I was drinking and freestyling. The whole album wasn't
Correct.
written on paper.
Sounds lit.
Yeah,
I
it
know.
was like-
I'm like, I
it
was
was just
there.
drinking,
I totally
freestyling.
understand.
But now I'm writing and I'm sober, so it's a different sound, a lot more
That might
calm.
be a different.
I was
type
definitely
of
hollering
vibe,
on
you know?
Eagle Man. I was hollering. So now
Don't
I'm
put
just-
me in there. I'm gonna be a scary type of buff. My family is. I eat and drink like shit.
But I feel like
and
that's
people be
part
like,
of-
"You look good, boy." I'm like,
I just feel like that's parts of leveling up too, like
Oh, yeah.
kind of
Right.
realizing
Shine moment.
those
I like
things,
that.
like
Yeah.
that we do that we don't realize in the past until we get into like
Mhm.
a really uncomfortable situation, and then we like really
Yeah.
have this conversation within ourselves to
Yeah,
be able to
absolutely.
like be like, all right,
Yeah,
what can I change to be different?
I
absolutely.
fuck with the way you articulate.
Yeah, no,
yourself.
for really, no. And that's,
And he's
that's what-
actually literally talked to me. Sorry to excuse you,
Yeah.
but you've told me this before. Like, I love the way your mind thinks because
Oh,
you've
yeah.
talked about like
You
what I
gonna show
post
Cory
and
some
how I.
titties since he just got out.
Yeah.
Excuse
This is
me,
after
I
dark.
won't do it
After
again.
dark,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Not now.
Well, we got-
Y'all
we
need
got-
to pay me on
we
my
got-
premium.
Can you show him glutes and
I can do
titties?
this now.
What? Yes, you can.
Can
It's
you
us
fuck
and
it?
girls in there. Nah, it's a, man. It's a
Bro.
we
Are you
do
showing
after dark. We brought porn stars.
Wait,
on here.
are we all down to see my titties?
Ladies, are you guys
Down to
our
see
titties?
some titties.
It's for Cory. For Cory.
Oh man. Oh wow.
Welcome to Pod Sun
Welcome to
Radio.
Pod Sun Radio.
Good time,
Welcome to Pod Sun Radio.
Thank you, Sean.
Oh, wow.
Cory,
Wow. Look at this.
how you like those, Cory? What do you think?
Hey, definitely the most wild episode of Pod Sun Radio by
But
far.
look, lot of love. Have
Look,
so
I'm
much
sweating now,
love.
look. See how you hot
Thank
now.
you. Babe,
gotta
I
take
saw
the
your
jacket off.
titties, so I thought it would be equal.
Cassie
Yes,
got
because
nice.
I saved you out of the. Honestly,
Yeah,
because
Cassie.
you were in the bathroom,
Yeah, I gotta
remember?
tell you,
And I was
look,
like,
I'm
why
hot
are
in
you
there now, look.
naked? And you're like, we'll talk about that later.
All right.
You
Anyway,
guys get into that.
I know. I know.
we have to
I
go
got
Uncle
you.
Luke. Shine moment to you. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
we'll give you.
Yeah.
I did.
They gonna have
Is that
That's
applause?
applause.
Yeah. They might
I
kick you
called
off
your
of
sister
YouTube
like,
for that
hey,
joint.
can you come
They
back
might kick you off of YouTube.
Nah,
for that
you two got sporadic titties everywhere.
joint.
Well, all right. Now, in this house, we don't give a fuck, but we segue in like this.
I don't care. They're titties.
What was, as far as you can share with it, your darkest moment on that vacation?
Is really right when you go in. You know what I mean? Because for one, that's when I realized that I wasn't getting out early. I remember the date was June 19th. I had talked to I had talked to my case manager. 85% of your time, or you're doing, a certain amount of time, so you might not even hit the yard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all this. So I'm thinking like, oh, bet, like, bro, I only did a couple weeks, nigga, and I'm out of here. Cool. So I hit the yard and I asked him, and literally like, yo, she's on the computer. Like, I'm like, bet, I'm in there, happy and shit. She's like, no, it looks like you're gonna be in here till February. And then at that moment, you like, damn, like, okay, for one, I ain't got no bread on me. You know what I mean? Because my money didn't transfer from county yet. I don't have any phones. I'm not talking to nobody. I know absolutely nobody in this bitch. I don't know where my daughter is. I don't know, you don't know what your family is doing. I don't know what the album is doing. Like all of these thoughts are running through you. And when you look at the calendar and you're like, yo, it's June 19th. I have 240 some days left. And that's when it kind of hits like, like I have to make this my new home for the time being. Yeah. And that's when it got the darkest, I would say. Okay. It was right at the beginning.
All right, and then transfer from that. Because one thing I think is funny, like I said, the longest I ever had to do was 6 or 7 days or some shit. But one thing I told people, nigga, I've never been weaker than I was in jail because these niggas was funny.
Oh, yeah.
So what was like the most lighthearted moment you had? Where you was like, these niggas crazy. I had a nigga who said he was Michael Jackson's cousin and he looked like Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
dark skin.
Like he was like halfway in between. Shit was crazy.
I mean, I would have to sit there and think because I had some young niggas in there, and there was definitely purely like straight comedy. Like shit was comedy. But I mean, if I were to say it right now, it may not be funny to y'all. It was like one of those you have to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, like it was definitely comedy. Like niggas are pure comedy. The funniest thing actually about prison is I learned, like, for the people out there that don't know what a doppelganger is, it's like the movie Us. Like you got somebody out there that looks just like you and all of that. Bro, in prison, everybody got a doppelganger. This nigga Jalen got one.
You keep telling me this.
He got somebody in there that looks just like, bro, you got one. Rashad got one. My little brother got one. So it's like, bro, when you see these people and you realize like they talk like, and act just like the people that you're comfortable with, it actually kind of makes it easier. Because it's like, bro, it's easy for them to become your dogs because you're already my dog outside of here. You know what I mean? Like, I already got you as my dog, bro. Like, you kicking it with me regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, man, that shit is crazy, bro. All right, so and this is a question for me mostly, but being a creator, what is your creative or your like? Are you inspired while you're in there for that long? Like, how is that? Just as far as literally just your creativity, like, are you inspired to write raps while you're in that? You know what I'm saying?
To be honest with you, at the very beginning, absolutely not. Because I mean, there's certain people like maybe if I was that type of artist where I wanted to give you like pain and all of this stuff, just in my repertoire, I never wanted to be that kind of artist. I wanted to be like the artist that is positive. You know what I mean? If you listen to all of Eagle Man, it's like, bro, it feels good. You know what I mean? It's a party. It's life. You know what I mean? And I still want to, do that just differently now. But I mean, far as being in there, no, it's depressing. I mean, it's gray walls, it's steel doors, it's locked shit. You're wearing the same clothes every day. There's no women. You know what I mean? There's no alcohol. There's nothing. You know what I mean? I mean, you got a couple female guards that was kind of, like, hey, what's happening? But I mean, at the end of the day, you can't do nothing with them because they there for work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I heard a couple stories, and actually, I did get a couple Instagrams. You know what I'm saying?
I know, it's like slide in the DM.
I did get a couple Instagrams on my way out, but that I can't really, that can get them.
I'm about to stop it because this switcher start tripping, but we're gonna have like 10 more minutes to do.
Okay.